It's Thursday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Mariah Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. YK in the building.
Yo, good morning. Good morning. Yes, I'm wearing your dress. The dress you got me for my birthday.
I love it.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Very YK-ish.
Thank you.
How did you find the match, the inner match?
Isn't it YK?
You know, I
has color.
have many camisoles.
Can never be cut on fresh.
Never. How you doing, YK?
Meanwhile, today is my brother's birthday. He turned 60 today.
Happy birthday. 60, that's a big age.
Big age. He's on tour.
He ran away.
You know, so I'm hoping maybe we'll surprise him on his when he returns.
Well, not a surprise anymore because you've said.
No, he's not watching.
His people
He's on tour. He's in America now. He's probably sleeping by now.
Okay.
You know.
You know these Americans, Nigerians, Americans.
They will tell you yes, on tour. They will say we are on tour. They are planning surprise party.
Yeah, but welcome to 60.
Wow.
Yeah, welcome to 60, Femi. You have met us there.
So he was born like.
And you are rocking the 60.
Yeah, immediately after.
Yeah, my mother was probably pregnant 4 months while I was 4 months. You know, that's why I'm traumatized.
Back to back.
Traumatized baby.
You can't try that in these times.
No, they do. It happens.
Back to back.
My mother had 61, 62, 63.
My mother too.
My brother 64, she miscarried.
My brothers too are 66, 67, 68.
Just
Can you imagine?
Back. All my brothers.
That's action.
fire.
Action.
Firing. Firing squad.
Those men, they should be...
And I came 12 years after. Anyway, how you doing, Maria?
I'm fine. Yesterday I spent the day making tortillas and guacamole. You people know how I do not like cooking. And I'm like, okay, if I try to do it, maybe I would
You
learn
didn't make
to
the
love
tortilla
it.
from scratch. Maybe
I
it's
did.
just
I made it from
What is
scratch.
guacamole?
I made it from scratch.
Tell me what
I'm so
guacamole
proud
is
of
before you...
myself.
Nindiocha.
So it's avocado with vegetables, onions, peppers, blah, blah, blah. So it's really like a dip. A lot of people use it to eat like chips.
Fries.
So I made this almond flour tortillas from scratch. From scratch. I'm so proud of myself.
Who does that? You buy it in the bag.
Me, I did that. I did the low carb version of it. I'm so proud of myself.
Nice.
For you and your
Because-
husband, or just you?
The kids loved
loved
it.
it.
Yeah, they will loved it.
Not your husband.
He's not in town.
Oh.
So it's just you and the kids.
Yes,
Bonding with them?
obviously. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
How you doing?
I'm sleepy.
This hairstyle is just so chic on you. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what people
Look
are
like
saying.
very...
Yeah, it's one of my favorite wigs. Well, I don't like any of her
YK is gradually coming
wigs. I don't
over.
like any of her wigs, but this is something I can manage. There's one other one,
There's
afro.
another one that you like.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Those are the ones I can manage.
Step by step.
Manage everything.
There's no
Step by
step. There
step.
is no step.
Step by step.
Forget about it.
One day, YK will wear an afro.
I'm telling you, man, I will get it for you.
I give you permission to go and rent gun and shoot me.
It's not that bad now.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great.
How is the acting going?
Oh, wow. I left set by 10 p.m. yesterday.
Oh,
We've
sugar.
been shooting back to back, but I'm happy. I'm excited.
This is good,
I've been,
you know?
yeah, I've been praying for that sort of job to come my way, and it has come. So I'm embracing it.
And we
And
want
I
more.
need more scripts. I'm
Yeah.
a good actor. Just go on YouTube, check my Jiro. You will confirm that I'm a good actor. Send the scripts. Let's do the work. I'm ready.
Fantastic.
How you
Well
doing?
done. I'm doing well. I'm doing very, very well. I'm grateful for a lot of things. I'm trying to remember what I've forgotten something that is really important, as usual.
Anybody's birthday, anybody's wedding.
So I know that
ceremony.
there, my dad, my dad. So the Alawa Kabasharo lecture will be holding today at the Marriott. Yes, I'll be attending that. Today's 16th, right? Today's Thursday, 16th, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, the Marriott, 10 a.m. Yeah, at the Marriott. So that's my dad's. It's been hosted by the Nigerian Bar Association, the Ketchup branch. So they do it annually. It's the first time that my mom won't be attending, but my brothers will be there. I'll be there. So it's the Alawa Kabasharo lecture on the Marriott Hotel today. Please, if you're available in that neighborhood, stop by. It would be nice to have you there. All right, let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we go through the front pages of the papers. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
We're going to start with the Punch. Wike Okowa face panel today. Camps fight over Atiku's VP slot. Ekiti governor's candidates signed peace accord NSCDC deploys 9,747 personnel. Rivers woman sells sister's baby for 600,000 naira. Police arrest suspects. Experts call for action as monkeypox spreads to 15 states. Excuse me. Or massacre. Senate demands raid on killers' hideouts. Helicopter drones deployment. Extend voter registration deadline. Reps urge INEC. Buhari okays TCN on bundling. NEC orders 5,000 megawatts delivery by July 1st. Our lawyers are studying judgment on $1.7 billion Malibu scam case, says federal government. And 70 airlines failed in Nigeria. 3 may collapse soon, says AON. All right, let's start with the major headline. Who has our story? Wiki?
So yeah, I have it, but I won't take in another story.
Okay.
But let me go with the Senate. So the Senate yesterday condemned the June 5 terrorist attack on St. Francis Catholic Church, Owo, in Ondo State, which left about 40 persons dead and many others hospitalized. So the lawmakers observed a 1-minute silence in memory of the victim, and they are asking security agencies to intensify efforts to investigate the matter with a view to bringing the perpetrators to book. They are also urging the agencies to deploy drones, helicopters to monitor the forest and ungoverned areas in Nigeria so that they can identify illegal camps of bandits throughout the country. So the Red Chamber, they said they are urging security agencies to try as much as possible to gather intelligence in a discrete and organized form at a local government and state level nationwide. And they were saying that all these sort of massacres is, if we're not careful, could be a trigger to inter-religious conflicts and ethnic war in the country. So we need to be really careful. And they were trying to admonish religious leaders to say that they need to stop inciting their followers through their religious messages in places of worship, because this can pose a significant security threat to the country. And one thing is sure, that they are trying everything within their power to ensure that they protect citizens in the country. And wherever they come into like a breach, then they will tell us that they need help.
Okay, so I'll take the Rivers woman, who police, they smashed a syndicate. The child, the mother of the child, Peace Emmanuel, had reported her daughter, her 5-year-old daughter, missing. They traced it to Omagua, or the case was reported at the Omagua police station. The
Imo State.
Pardon?
In Imo State.
In Imo State. But anyway, they found the child. It was the mother's sister that had stolen the child and sold her for 600,000 naira. Wow. And so they've arrested her. But then there was another guy, what was his name? Messiah Wisdom, who used to lure girls, invite girls to his house, drug them, make love to them, video them, and threaten them with the sum of 1 million. Or risk the videos going viral. They've arrested him too. They've arrested another kidnapping syndicate where they used to buy AK-47s. So they posed as people who wanted to buy the rifles, and they sold them. They gave them 1.3 million. They came on a boat. Right. Anyway, they arrested them and recovered the money. But the third person with the boat escaped. Yeah.
I just wanted to say, I read that story as well, and when they talked about that Messiah Wisdom, who lures girls to his room, takes and makes a video of them, it was described as he invites the girls to his house, drugs them, make love to them, and video them. Please, the proper thing should be rapes them.
Not make love.
Rapes them and then takes a video and uses the video to blackmail.
The editor should have corrected that.
I don't understand.
It's just devil's... what do you call it?
Okay, so I have
another story.
Yes, monkeypox. So medical experts are warning that we're so complacent concerning the monkeypox. NCDC has reported that the thing has spread to about 15 states in Nigeria right now, and that it seems that this system, this way that we're so complacent until maybe some foreign country picks up, the campaign to bring awareness and sensitize people before Nigeria does the same, and saying that Nigeria should do a better job of informing people, telling people how this this virus moves from one person to the other. They say, first of all, it's from animals to man, but very close, if you're in very close proximity with someone that has it, you can get it. Respiratory fluids also, you can get that maybe through coughs, you know, bodily fluids also, you can catch that. And it's important that our government put this front and center so people are aware and take the proper precautions, you know, to prevent them catching this.
I've tried to make you people aware on this table, but you seem to still want to eat bushmeat.
It's Nima.
It's Nima. When you say Nima, tell Nima. Let's move on to... So the Power Minister has confirmed that they will be unbundling the TCN. If you recall, they had the unbundling done where it was privatized for the discos. Since then, the TCN, people have actually have requested that the TCN, the transmission company, also be privatized. And that had fallen on deaf ears for many years. But now the Power Minister confirmed that they've reached advanced stage in ensuring that it's being unbundled into 2 entities. They've not told us exactly when it will be official, but now we know confirmed for sure that it's been unbundled. Also, they're saying that they've also increased under the contract with the discos are now allowed, they're not allowed to buy less than 5,000 megawatts. So they also confirmed that they will be allowing 5,000 megawatts electricity to customers across the country. Before, we used to have much lower than that. But now, by July 1st, they've confirmed to us that they'll be generating up to 5,000 megawatts for distribution across the country, which is good news. Although we are still far behind. Many countries are doing 30,000 megawatts, but at least we're moving forward. Okay, let's move on to The Nation. Last-minute intrigues in PDP over Atiku's running mate. Issues in varsity union strike complicated, says Minister. Our monarch to invoke curses on Catholic Church and attackers. PDP orders shun Ekiti Peace Pact signing. Aviation fuel hits 714 naira per litre as petroleum queues return. Court jails Mama Boko Haram 2 years for 71 million naira fraud. And Oyo Assembly slams misconduct charges against Deputy Governor. Okay.
Major headline, please. So there's a form of anxiety in the People's Democratic Party, PDP, over the choice of the running mate to the presidential candidate, Atiku Abubakar. And, you know, I think they have just about 24 hours to submit the person who they are going to be projecting.
Yes, tomorrow, yeah.
And yesterday I took the story where they had set up an ad hoc committee, and that committee picked Wike to be the running mate. But now it seems like they are going to have to rescreen Wike. They have mentioned the names of the people who are going to be handling that in the National Advisory Council. And they said, so some observers are wondering why they have to rescreen him when he had already, you know, been voted. Because it was a voice vote that was used, and he got, I think, about 16 out of 20. Right. So people are wondering, why are they
How did they count the voice vote 16 out of 20?
That was the report that they gave yesterday. Yeah, it's fine. So people are now wondering why they have to rescreen him. But then they have set up another panel that will be rescreening him. So hopefully we'll see by the end of today or tomorrow.
Yeah. By tomorrow, all of them. In fact, I was saying they will all submit by tomorrow. At least 17th is the deadline.
Politicians do things a bit weird. I would have thought maybe when you do your primaries, the one that gets the highest, then the second highest should be the running mate.
No, but they have intrigues. Yeah.
Okay, let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we continue with our review. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
There's a lot of intrigue.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Hello, everyone. Hope you people have linked your NIN. Don't be like my son, Oshegu, who had to wait for his land to be disconnected.
Yes, so mommy, but I am now reconnected. Yes. I went to Airtel shop, enrolled for my NIN, and we registered my line. Simple and short, no stress. It didn't end there. Airtel rewarded me with a no-vest bonus of 20,000 naira free airtime and data to access all my social media accounts. If you already have NIN, all you need to do is dial *121# or visit the Airtel website to get link up. Get on it.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
This is your captain speaking. We are currently cruising on an altitude of... Enjoy your flight.
And cut! Everybody knows, say, I be real person. Even for my acting.
Now original, not be fake. Enjoy my people. As my they see me so, I know they joke with anything where they bring rich flavor, totori nutrition, and great taste. Like my Checkers custard make 3-in-1. The Totorica, Bamba, and rich custard. Checkers custard quality sure. My family, they know they take and play.
Can someone get these two out of my set now?
Good thing good, I beg. I no go lie. This na custard.
Checkers. Na custard be that.
When you think of fruit juice and all the goodness that comes in it, think Chivita, specially made for you. And there is more to choose from. Whatever your preferences are, there is a Chivita for you.
Oh,
Yes. Check out our new Chivita Smart Malt Drink. So, what's your Chivita?
You too? Oh.
why?
Daddy's coughing, Gina is coughing, so I just ran for cover.
Uniplex cough syrup contains ammonium chloride, diphenhydramine hydrochloride, sodium citrate, and menthol crystals to give you relief from sore throat, cold, and just a cough.
Daddy, are we safe now?
Yeah. Uniplex cough syrup. Cage the cough, free your voice.
Are you aware that your perfect family may be under threat by germs? Germs can cause infectious disease. These infectious diseases are amongst the biggest killers of adults and children. Illness-causing germs are everywhere. In unclean bathing water, on your clothes, dirty surfaces, on cuts and wounds. To protect your family from germs, use the power of Dettol's 1 capful. In your bathing water, for your laundry, for surface cleaning, for first aid, and to protect your family from up to 100 illness-causing germs. Be Dettol Sure.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still reviewing Nation. Mariam, you had a story you wanted to say?
Yes. So this is just in addition to the story that BC took. So this is about the Owo killings. But today, the Olowo of Owo, Oba Ajibade Badegesin Ogonoye III, has fixed today to invoke curses on those who killed and injured worshippers at St. Francis Catholic Church in the ancient town. So people had heard about it, and there's been news going around that there may be shutdown of business or traffic, but he's saying that everybody can go on with their business, that just the areas that will be used, people can still use those areas, just that traffic will be a lot more restricted, but you can go on with your business. There are also other traditional leaders that were speaking concerning this. The Oli Jebu of Ijebu-Owo in Ondo State has said that the 300 policemen that have been posted to provide security to that community is insufficient, and that this is the time to really look into community policing. And also the Niger Delta leader, Dr. Julius Baboga, has blamed the killing in Owo on our lackadaisical attitude of the federal government's attitude towards protecting citizens. I mean, that's what we always talk about, that we don't feel like the federal government or the parastatals that's supposed to do the job of protecting Nigerians are really doing the best that they can.
All right, Mikey.
So in Ekiti, the Ekiti elections are this weekend, I believe, and so they come together to form a peace accord so that there is no fighting. But 6 political parties didn't turn up. The PDP, the Accord Party, Labour Party, African Action Congress, and the Allied People's Allied People's Movement. Also the Young Progressive Party, they didn't turn up and they didn't send representatives, but the others were there to sign
All right.
The peace
so,
accord. So
let me take Mama Boko Haram. For those of you that remember, Mama Boko Haram was a woman, Aisha Wakil, if you knew her then. She was a woman who, according to her, she knew many of the Boko Haram as children. So she practically raised quite a number of these people. And she used her relationship with them at the time to broker peace and deals. And, of course, then they found that she also used it to help them with weapons and purchase and all that. So finally, the Maiduguri court has sentenced Aisha Wakil, which is popularly known as Mama Boko Haram, to 5 years jail term, 5 years prison for the 71.4 million naira fraud. They also convicted 2 others, Tahiru Saidu Faura and Prince Lawal Shoyode. Also, both of them, so the 3 of them have been sentenced to 5 years, part of which is what they've been doing, say some 1.4 million naira fraud, working with Boko Haram. But if you remember that story broke a few years back.
She used to be like an intermediary.
She used to be there. That's what we thought. She was an intermediary.
But then she had.
But I guess
if she was involved in buying weapons for them, is 2 years or 5 years enough?
Not enough.
You know, if that is what the case is, or is it that she collected money for ransom?
She's convicted for fraud. So it wasn't, yeah. So good. So that's a specific charge here. So I don't know if it was actually for the weaponry issue, but it's more of the fraud that was covered in the papers. So let us leave it at that. Okay, let's move on now to Daily Sun. VP slot APC PDP under pressure as deadline expires. Reps move to override Buhari's veto on amended Electoral Act. Presidency, Ohaneze weighs options. Ekiti, I didn't meet Tinubu, anybody to compromise my candidacy, says Oni. Akwa Ibom, REC calls Akpabio's primary election victory Nollywood fantasy. 2023, I'll work for Tinubu the same way I worked for Lawan, says Kalu. And 24 lawmakers initiate impeachment move against Oyo deputy governor. Okay, which story are we starting with in Daily Sun?
Ohaneze Ndibo are saying that they are still weighing, excuse me, their options for the Southeast ahead of the 2023 presidential elections. So the former Anambra State Governor and Chairman Igbo Elders Consultative Forum, Chukwuemeka Ezeife, said yesterday that the push for the president of Nigeria from the Southeast was still on course. And although the 2 major political parties, APC and PDP, had selected and failed to elect a Southeasterner as their flag bearer, it's still very possible that other political parties may decide to go that way. So he says that he's also suspecting that the PDP may not go in favor of a Southeasterner as a vice president, but hope is not all lost. After all, there's a Peter Obi who dumped the PDP and had clinched the Labour Party ticket and is already making waves across the country. However, the National Publicity Secretary of the Apex Igbo Sociocultural Organization, Dr. Alex Obonia, had told The Sun that the group was waiting for all the political parties to conclude fielding their presidential candidates before deciding on who to support. So in a few days, they will know where all the political parties are. And they're saying also that this is the time for a leader from the Igbo extraction. That idea has come, and everybody must pull resources together to support a Southeasterner.
Okay, there's another story in Daily Sun. I was going to take the story. Oji Uzor Kalu said he pledged his support for the APC. According to him, it was very clear that the former governor of Lagos, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, won the primaries, and now he must align to ensure the victory. And is confident that Southeast will also vote for the APC. He says that I'll always take my stand on any issue, whether I agree or disagree. I've accepted that Bola Tinubu won the whole party, then the whole party has also agreed to his victory. And there's no doubt about his victory. Therefore, we shall all align to ensure the party's victory in the Southeast. Okay, any other story in Sun?
I didn't copy it, but let me see if I can remember from my brain. Akpabio, you know, after he lost the presidential election, he went back to Akwa Ibom to go and contest for the Senate. But they had already had the primaries, but they went and said there was a rerun. So the rec of the RVC of Michael Igini, I think is his name, has said that it's a Nollywood fantasy, that the only way he can have a rerun is
if he was part of the first.
If he was part of the first election, and if the candidates that won said that I'm not doing again. So they had a rerun. The candidates that won the first one was not there, didn't show up, and he got 480-something votes. That's Akpabio. But the guy of INEC say, you are not, it's fantasy you are having.
All right, let's move on. Okay, let's move on to Vanguard. Vice President Shettima is top running mate choice in APC, says source. Poor generation vandalism, others responsible for grid collapses, federal government. We borrow to pay salaries, says AGF. Club shooting, Burna Boy finally speaks, says, I'm not shocked. Army finds Chibok schoolgirl in Borno 8 years after abduction. Strike, ASUU, issue more complicated than Nigerians think, says federal government. Abuja, Kaduna train attack. Freed victims, mentally unstable families cry out. Rumblings over Nigerian judges' poor pay. An aviation fuel price. 3 airlines to shut down in days, says AON, raises alarm. Okay.
Yeah, so the families of the victims of the kidnapped, of the train, the Abuja-Kaduna train that was attacked, 11 of them have been released. We already have that story. But the families of the 11 that have been released say that the state in which their family members are in is quite sad. Many of them are still traumatized. They say they're sick, they're in hospitals, and, you know, still unstable and trying to recover themselves emotionally and mentally. And they're insisting and asking, first of all, thanking the federal government and all stakeholders in the release of these 11 on the 77th day after the abduction. But they're saying that there are 15 more victims still in captivity and that we should not give up. Federal government should not give up. They should do all that they can to get those ones out. I mean, these ones are out on the 77th. For those ones that are still in captivity, we cannot imagine the state in which they're in. And one of the family members gave an account of her own sister who was abducted with her brother. She was released, but her brother was still held. There. And they said when she heard about it, she just couldn't stop crying. So federal government, please, let's keep working hard to make sure that the other members are released.
Any other story?
Yes, so the federal government that the issues concerning the ongoing strike by ASUU and the other 3 universities and unions is not as simple as people think. So they had, according to the Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, they had a FEC meeting, and at the end of the day, he had to brief correspondents. And he was telling them that the federal government had approved and established e-learning centers for primary schools across the 36 states of the Federation, including the Federal Capital Territory. So they asked him a question saying that how can you be thinking of e-learning platforms across the states when you have not sorted the issues of ASUU? And he says that the issues of ASUU are beyond what we know or what we think, but that they cannot allow primary schools and secondary schools to suffer because that e-learning platform was basically for primary and secondary schools. So they can't stop their education because they're still finding ways to negotiate with ASUU. And he also said that the federal government is still worried about the fact that the schools are still on strike. They are doing everything within their power, and that's one of the reasons they've been setting up committees after committees to try and negotiate and make sure that these students go back to school. But they cannot pause on the primary school education just because of what is happening. So I wanted to take quickly what they did for the primary school. So the Minister of Education saw the approval from the Council for the award of contracts for the provision of a satellite-based education system for 109 e-learning centers across the 36 states of the Federation. They said the contract was for 964 million, and it was in favor of MES-NAS navigation. Now, the scope of the project is to provide satellite-based education system for about 4,360 users in the 109 senatorial districts. So this will cut, I think, about 3 schools in each state will have the satellite centers for e-learning.
Take the Chibok.
So you want to check the I'll take Burna, but you take the Chibok. Okay. Okay, then he's just a very short, he just took to his Twitter handle yesterday to say if they say Burna Boy started Boko Haram, he will not be shocked. That is in relation to what happened. That's all.
Yeah, and just to also confirm, they said the police command said they don't have he's not a fugitive. Yes. They never said that we had to confirm with the Lagos State. Yes. Troops found a lady that they believe is one of the schoolgirls that was abducted by Boko Haram in the Chibok community. Her name, they say her name is Mary Ngoshe. they found her with her son. They found her June 14th, that's a few days ago. And they believe she's one of the abducted girls from GGSS Chibok in 2014. And that's all they said about her. There's a picture of her and her child. I hope that we have data to confirm things like this.
The picture,
Since
she looks so sad.
Yeah, since she was gotten from a school, we hope they have all the pictures and names of people who
We really do. All right, let's go on a quick break now. When we come back, we invite Roland Properties. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
At TVC Communications, we're all about our audience. Millions of viewers, listeners, and readers every day all around Nigeria.
Our 2 TV stations are among the most watched in Nigeria.
TVC News is our award-winning 24-hour national and international news channel headquartered here in Lagos, broadcasting live from our custom-built state-of-the-art news headquarters.
TVC, the top-rated family entertainment channel, is the place for fun, music, and information. With our breakfast show, Wake Up Nigeria, the all-female chat show, Your View, the best soaps and dramas from Nolly, Bolly, and Hollywood, music and entertainment blast, courtesy E-Splash, and of course, award-winning news and current affairs. It is all here.
With news bureau and studios around the country and the ability to go live anywhere, anytime, we are first for breaking news in Nigeria. Awarded the NMMA TV Station of the Year, TVC News is the station of choice for news that is first, accurate, balanced, and reliable every time. TVC and TVC News watched by over 4.5 million people in Nigeria every day on terrestrial, DTH, DTT, OTT, and available to viewers in the UK on Sky TV. Watch all of our world-class programs on TV, online, and on our app. TVC and TVC News, the best entertainment and news for Nigeria on TV and online.
And when you can't watch us, listen to us. 102.3 Max FM Lagos and 90.9 Max FM Abuja are now ranked among the most listened to radio stations in Nigeria.
Now, with over 1.5 million listeners every day, we're the people's favorite radio station. Best hit music, best on-air talent. Max 102.3 hit music for Lagos and Max 90.9 hit music for Abuja. We are your home for that fun, entertainment, and hit music.
In Lagos, TVC, our leading family entertainment TV channel, has a 47% market share. But this is just the start of our journey, as we plan to add even more services to entertain and inform our ever-growing audience. Thanks for being part of the TVC communications story.
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw earthen material slabbed, stroked, and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move way in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known. For when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
How we're doing, guys? Is the makeup in progress? Makeup? Check. Are the scripts on the prompter? Script? Check. Are we set in the PCR? All team in place? PCR? Check. Clock is ticking, time is racing, lights are. Plans all set. 120 minutes of hot entertainment. We are ready
for the mission.
How we're doing, guys? Is the makeup in progress? Makeup
check.
Are the scripts on the prompter? Script
check.
Are we set in the PCR? All team in place? PCR
check. Clock is ticking, time is racing, lights are. Plans all set. 120 minutes of hot entertainment. We are ready for the mission.
Come closer. A little bit more. Perfect. I have exciting news for you. You asked for it and you got it. Your favorite breakfast show, Your View, will be going to 2 hours. We're going to have in-depth analysis of the newspaper review and more conversations on the hot topics. The ladies of Your View and I will be stirring up our guests to get an in-depth into all the various topics, and you, our viewers, will have the opportunity to call in and share your views. After all, it's your view. Join us on Your View, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. for a fantastic conversation. Don't miss it. Come closer. A little bit more. Perfect. I have exciting news for you. You asked for it and you got it. Your favorite breakfast show, Your View, will be going to 2 hours. We're going to have in-depth analysis of the newspaper review and more conversations on the hot topics. The ladies of Your View and I will be stirring up our guests to get an in-depth into all the various topics, and you, our viewers, will have the opportunity to call in and share your views. After all, it's your view. Join us on Your View, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. for a fantastic conversation. Don't miss it. Thanks for staying with us. So, today's our Gisting Thursday, and we love to talk about life issues, relationships, things that touch the heart. But joining us today on this conversation is a host, a broadcaster, film, TV producer, media executive, philanthropist, journalist, and an ardent lover of shoes. Just to mention a few, the delectable Olufumilola Aduke Inyonda, better known as Fumi Inyonda in the building. How you doing?
Very well, thank you.
Before we came on the show, we were talking about health and all that. We'll see you come and lecture us on how to eat right. Because we know we should eat vegetables and fruits, but if we don't understand the real science behind this, we might not be able to actually switch to eat healthy. So one of these days we'll bring you for health talk. I hope you're okay with that.
Well, whatever you need me for.
All right, so there are a few stories we saw online that we thought was really interesting to talk about, because we like to talk about these issues so that we learn from each other. Excuse me. So one of the stories we read about was an atheist, and I think maybe Mariam can establish the story properly. An atheist married, and another girl, they fell in love. The two of them were together. They were lovers for some time. At some point, the girl traveled to the U.S. The couple traveled.
So they got married.
Okay.
So the man is an atheist, the woman irreligious, and they had, fairly same values. And they got married, had 2 kids. Eventually, something happened. She had to go back home to America. She was away for 6 months. When she came back, he noticed she had changed. She started praying in the house. And eventually, she now wanted to have the kids involved in church. And that was where he drew the line. Went to court, to get a divorce. And he was so afraid that if she got the kids, he would never see his children again, because now they had clearly very separate set of values.
So that's
the fear is, you start out with someone that you're so in love with. You think
so that's the story. I mean, we don't like to reference too many people's stories. We like to just take the learnings from it. So we're thinking, 2 people fall in love, 2 regular guys. You met at the club, drinking, having a ball. 2 of you fall in love together. And one by Jesus. After you got married and you're together, one now is gang by Jesus. One became a Sunnah Muslim and with covering and everything. and you're thinking, okay, do we draw the line? I won't start with you. Let me start with the other ladies. Do you think it's right for somebody to say, I have found God, I have found Islam, I have found this new religion, and if I have Buddhism, you can even find Buddhism, you can even find what the other religions they have, different religions, and then is that enough grounds to break a marriage or to break a relationship? Mariam, let me start with BC. Your thoughts on this?
Okay, so the only constant thing in life is change. And the earlier we begin to tell ourselves the truth, that the change can go either ways, the better for us. So as you're falling in love, just have it at the back of your mind that anything can happen tomorrow, a change may come tomorrow. How do I deal with it? I also believe that these are some of the conversations you can start having. Don't always assume that I met you this way, you're going to be like that for the rest of your life. If something happens along the line and our values no longer align, how do we deal with it? How do we part ways? What are some of the things that you would do? Or how would you try to get me on your side? Is it even okay for you to try to force me to be on your side? Or can we still live as friends while we have our different values? Those are the conversations we need to begin to have in the process of dating, because anything can happen. I'm going through a spiritual journey, which is different from how I started. So I started out as born-again Christian, and my husband too, born again, we're in line, values, the Holy Spirit, is tongue speaking, blah, 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 blah. But along the line, I started evolving spiritually. I evolved beyond religion. And it was a major scary thing for my husband. He kept looking at me like, one day he had to ask me, do you still believe in Jesus Christ? I don't understand. Where are you getting all these things you're saying from? It was so scary for him because he had never seen, we never believed that would happen. But that is where we are. So I had to try. I kept asking for direction. How do I get this guy to understand that I am evolving? I'm becoming aware. I'm becoming, there's this thing they call it, I'm getting more conscious of who I am and what I'm here to do. It doesn't mean that I'm calling your religion bad. It doesn't mean that I'm saying that what you're doing is no longer good, but it just means that I'm growing in another level and another direction. And so it took a lot of patience and trying to understand me. He still hasn't really understood me. Right. But I just tried to make him relax in a way that, okay, you don't want me to push the understanding. So when I started meditating, it was, you know how Christians don't understand meditation, and he felt I was invoking demons. It was not funny. Right. Don't get my children involved. Don't do this. I say, relax. Right. One day I begged him, can we do this together? Let me just show you so that, you know, we are very, as human beings, we judge what we do not understand. Let me just show you. So it can happen. But the earlier we start having this sort of conversations, so that we know where our mind's at.
Okay, mine is the other way around. You know, so I had lived life. I like music. I love hip hop. I love rap. I used to be ghetto-ish. You know, I had that in me. And then, you know, as a young girl, you move back home. You start, you know, going to church. Your mom is there holding you to camp. And then you become this nice Christian girl. And then you marry this nice guy from a nice Christian home. And you're now this nice, cool Christian couple. But as you now enter the marriage, ghetto in you start, you know, you hear a nice Tevin Campbell, you hear a Kiniko, you hear this, and you're like, oh my God.
You want to sing along?
You want, and your husband, okay, in my house? You can, you know, so that struggle is constantly there because it's like, I didn't marry that person, no. This thing, that's not who I married, though. And you're thinking, well, so we are constantly suppressing that side because, like, that was my past. I have gotten deliverance from Fela. I am no more a Fela fan. That kind of thing. Just, you know, so let me come to you now. Your thoughts on this, because a lot of women are struggling with this, especially those of us that are so religious in this country. We are constantly, so it's either we are Islamically religious or Christianity religious. We're just so religious that we constantly struggle to be who we're not or who we really want to be. Let me come to you for me on this.
Me?
Yeah.
You know, I wanted to start by, you know, you said you wanted to look at the top stories, you know, and I would always say we should be cautious about top stories because of the kind of world we live in now. So the top stories are always the most scandalous stories. They don't necessarily represent society, you know, so oftentimes we get carried away by things that are unimportant because really by the nature of the algorithm that's behind, you know, all the platforms that we all read, they must look for what's most sensational. Right. And the average person, this is not their problem. So often when they say these things, I just smile. Okay. That's the way to start. The second thing is that for that particular, I mean, I don't speak for other people. We're not in their marriage, so we don't know what happened really. Right. Yeah. You know, and that's a news reporter's perspective. I remember once again, we're media people. They must find a perspective that will get people interested so that they can read their paper, so that they can get viewership or ratings. You know, so, but just looking at it off the story that they told, my own instinctive reaction is that they didn't fight over religion. You know, I don't think that the story, I don't think it's because of religion they fight. If two people are together who have been married for a while, and something like that is enough to break their relationship, you want to ask what the real problem is. That has been used as a camouflage or an excuse for something else that's deeper. Fundamentally that's fundamental in the relationship, which they haven't examined. Yeah. So, I mean, regarding the Nigerian society generally, you know, I would always say that all religion, my own understanding and finding through life is that most religions, when you drill down to the core, are the same. Religion is really an attempt by human beings to understand how we are. My daughter said something to me recently I thought was really cool. She said, Mom, we live on a giant rock that is rotating around a ball of fire at precise distance. Everybody needs to chill. Because what that means is that just the human experience to be alive in this universe is amazing. And of course, human beings want to understand it. So from culture to culture, they found different stories and different explanations for doing this. So for example, I love the example you used when you said about prayers, because meditation is a form of prayer. Affirmation is a form of prayers. Everybody is saying the same thing. They're saying it in different ways. And unless we bring ourselves to say, you know, come, actually, we're saying the same thing, then we start finding, because what people do is they layer their own fears, their own insecurities, their own aspirations on the core, so it becomes confusing. And regarding Nigeria, people have always married across ethnicity, across religions, from time immemorial. It's never been a big problem. So some of the recent problems, if there's more, we might have to look deeper because we have more fundamental challenges in Nigeria. So those challenges may have come into the marriage, and so people are using religion as a way to cover up. So we've always got to drill down to the core of anything before we react at all. This would be my own reaction, rather than laughing.
So we'd like to have, because as I said, Thursdays we like to just gist about light issues, family issues, because we like to learn from each other. So relationships. So what are your thoughts on this matter? People changing, especially their...
And also, let me maybe give you a little context. So on, sometimes we get these stories off of social media. So sometimes these are stories shared by the person themselves, what they are going through. And then we try to look at it based on Nigeria. Some people may be going through this in their homes. We have our general Nigerian problem, insecurity and everything, but also we have those regular relationship problems that we try to deal with daily. So in this man's case, for me, I feel that is a question of core values. There's a reason why someone is religious, and there's a reason why they can be irreligious. And for some people, they believe in, for many of the people who tend to be irreligious or are atheists, just want to believe in science. There's a reason why something happens. There's a cause for something. It has to be rational to them to make sense. And then there's a person who is religious. That religious person just believes in God, who you cannot see, but he would change things for you in a twinkle of an eye, in a blink of an eye, you know. So when you have these two come together, I feel that
But, you know, we must teach our people that religion and science are not opposites of each other. That's one of the things we get wrong. Science is a way to try to understand how we come to be and the universal laws. Religion is similar. One of the reasons why we have some of the bigger challenges we have is because we keep thinking they are different. They are separate. And there are many, 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 many religious scientists all over the world.
So I personally agree with that. I feel science is part of religion. I mean, God is all encompassing. I don't believe in the explosion of things just happening. I believe that God is involved. But concerning this relationship that we're talking about, so if you have people who, because of their beliefs, feel, they have now values based off of their beliefs. It's hard then to have those two come together. For those of us pedestrian reality TV watchers, if we watch the story of Kanye West and his wife, Kim Kardashian, he loved her to be, her sexy, outgoing self. And then he found Christ. We saw the journey, like he was now turning towards Christ. They had children. And now he was insisting, I don't like you dressed in a certain way. And we saw the problem that caused. In fact, now they're divorced.
Pause you for a second, because that's the I have to pause you for a second. That's the real direction I want us to take, because these are real life issues. BC shared her story, I've shared my story. These are real life home issues that I want us to address after the break. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
And cut! Everybody knows, say, I be real person. Even for my acting. Now, original, not be fake. Enjoy, my people. As they see me so, I know they joke with anything where they bring rich flavor, total nutrition, and great taste. Like my Checkers custard make 3-in-1. The Totorica, Bangba, and rich custard. Checkers custard quality sure. My family, they know they take and play.
Can someone get these two out of my set now?
Good thing good, I beg. I no go lie. This na custard.
Checkers. Na custard be that.
A mother's instincts are hardly ever wrong. She knows when all is not well. And she trusts M&B Paracetamol, the red one, to save the day. With fast-acting and effective M&B Paracetamol tablet, the red one, and its pleasant-tasting pineapple flavor syrup, she sends aches and pains far away from her family. M&B Paracetamol. Pain can't stop you. If symptoms persist after 2 days, consult your doctor.
Wow! Celebrating, sir. So what do I want to do this visit? This is the best thing that could ever happen to me. When I started searching for a place to, buy property, and people were just taking me to forest, I did a lot of search, not until I met one of your marketers sometimes in 2015, and told me about Adron. So when I followed him, I come to the site. When I saw blue in my mind, I bought into the property, and the rest is history. Hassle-free, everything. Here is so peaceful. We sleep like a baby here. Thank God also Adron has built a police post somewhere around this. The greatest thing that I enjoy so far now is, I have uninterrupted power supply. Adron is true to his word. It's a friendly organization. Professional. I can recommend Adron to anybody. This is a place to be. This is the next cash cow for people.
Adron Homes, making the incredible affordable.
Life is a journey, they say. And the best journeys are never traveled alone. Whether it's starting that financial journey and needing stability, or needing the right direction for sound investments. At ARM, we are there for you through every phase of your life, even making the transfer of your wealth and assets totally seamless. And when you're ready to explore life after work, ARM doesn't just show you the way, we are right there with you.
Come! Let's face tomorrow together.
ARM, invested in your tomorrow.
You too? Oh. Why? Daddy's coughing, Gina is coughing, so I just ran for cover.
Uniplex cough syrup contains ammonium chloride, diphenhydramine hydrochloride, sodium citrate, and menthol crystals to give you relief from sore throat, cold, and just a cough.
Daddy, are we safe now?
Yeah. Uniplex cough syrup. Cage the cough, free your voice.
I find the strength I need every time that I
into your eyes. I know they worry, cause I know, say you did by my side. No matter what I do, you love me unconditionally. You show up for me every day. No matter when I show you, you show me love. You show me, no matter when I show you, you show me love. You show me, no matter when.
Babies cannot speak. All they do is cry whenever they're sick. When your baby is going through aches, fever, or pains, allergic cough, including discomfort associated with teething pains, treat your baby with Bonababe syrup. Bonababe is manufactured by Bond Chemical Industries Limited. Available in pharmacies near you. If symptoms persist after 3 days, consult your doctor.
I use it for you when you are a baby.
Thanks for staying with us. This conversation is getting interesting because Mariam was taking us somewhere. When a woman becomes self-aware, how does that then play out in her relationship?
Yeah, so just what I was trying to just go for is many people can walk through a lot of things, but when it now affects your core values, you would sit down and think twice about it. Like, is this something I would like to go ahead with? Marriage, as we know it, is supposed to be a union of two people. They're supposed to be one, you know, the way we're told. They're supposed to be one, think alike, want the same thing, have the same vision for their lives. And then there's someone that wants to do it differently. It would require people sitting down and deciding if this is the end. And so in his own case, I guess for them, they felt that being religious and not believing in religion, that was something that he could not work with. Now, we said something about having children involved. I'm just hoping that the system allows for, you know, co-parenting, and then the child is able to decide for themselves eventually when they grow up what they want. But really, when your core values, if you feel like your core values are compromised, you would not want to continue with that. I have a situation where I even want to just use your story, where you find that you have outgrown some things. And this seems to be like a modern story. We hear a lot of women, women were married when they were really young, while still in university, maybe the husband that paid for that university education, and then you find yourself now in your 40s. You got married in your 20s, now in your 40s, in your 50s, and you know who you are, you know, and that man did not ask for this. He says, he's like, you have changed beyond, this is not what we had arranged. Where are you now? Who are you?
So can that kind of person divorce?
Yeah, so it's okay for that person to sit down and say to you, this is not what I asked for. And you would decide, compromise, or he moves. Men have always done it as well. We used to see it, especially, I like to use this example a lot, military officers. There used to be a time we would hear when there's a coup, a military officer was now made a governor, he would leave his barrack wife that they started off together and then marry this person that he thought could be the face of his new office. She can speak well, she does this. People have always made decisions once they feel that they have moved to a certain point and you don't match.
Let me paint this scenario for you. I mean, based on which it's not similar to what she just said. A young girl married in church, right? And because she's in church, she's the nice girl, you know, nice girl. And then she might marry this guy, and they fell in love. But she was young, and she was being churchy, and she was being religious. But gradually, as they grew older, she wanted more out of life. And the man is there, has become a minister. He's now a pastor. And she's there she's now an MD. This is a true story, actually. She's a bank manager. She's doing what she's meeting people out there. She's traveling. She's going to different countries. And she realized that, listen, there's more to life than just being Mommy Jew. and she wants to move on. That kind of person, but divorce, God hates divorce. He doesn't want to divorce. So she's stuck. Now, she's cheating on her husband, which I heard about, but the man is like there, doesn't, so then I'll come to Fumi, because Fumi was telling us something back then, right? Like, what is the essence of a woman? Can the woman say, you know what, I'm done? Or must she just stay there because society expects you to stay there?
But what is the essence of the human? A woman is a human being before a woman. We're all expressions of God in different ways. So you've come alive now, you this current expression as a woman. Who knows, maybe the next time you'll be a man. Who knows, maybe you'll be white. Maybe you'll be Asian. You don't know. There's so much we don't know. And I find it a bit tiring that woman's life is constantly, endlessly about men. How to find a man, how to keep him, how to maintain him, how to care for him. Where is she as a human being, first and foremost? Personally, I have a more traditionally Yoruba conditioning. Okay. And when I talk about Yoruba, I don't mean present-day Yoruba, something much more older, I think, still maybe resonates in my own soul. I think that even the idea of marriage, what sort of marriage are we talking about? We're talking about our own interpretation of Western marriage. Do we even know the history of Western marriage? You know, and when I say West, let us talk about the northern Western hemisphere of Europe, where we take it from, because of course the West is wider than that, and of course that's only a small part of the world. Right. If you look at the environment, it's much more hostile for survival than these parts of the world. Here you can basically live on hunting and gathering as well as farming. There's farming mostly year-round. You can't do that in those hemispheres. So it becomes that the family unit as a survival unit is very, very important. So it's important to know which child belongs to which family, because that family will farm together and will have to survive together. So at the core of it, their kind of marriage was first and foremost about ownership of land and property for farming. With time, they also, when they went beyond agrarian societies to industrialized society, they introduced romanticism, because that was when individualism also became fashionable amongst them. And so romanticism, where marriage now became about, oh, the two of us. Remember, at the back of it, they also had a society, government, that secures those marriages. Whilst all of that was going on, what was going on in our own environment? In our, I will speak of Yoruba culture. Children are owned by the family, not a husband, man or woman. Idigi. You've come from this, and look at that term, idigi, that is your root. You come from a particular family, and it is both families. So you don't come from the man's family. You come from both your mother and your father's family. They protect you.
In the case of divorce, what happens?
You cannot, the concept of divorce does not occur like that in Yoruba land.
Because the marriage...
If two people no longer want to be together, they would come apart. They would discuss it with the family. They will go apart. Think about your own grandmothers and grandfathers. How many of them were married once? And which of them was demonized for that?
None.
Not the men, not the women. And in Yoruba land, a woman is assigned honor by what she does, not by biology. What she does. Iyalasho, Iyalata, Iyaloja.
Yeah.
If that had continued, some of them would have been Iya engineer, Iya doctor, Iya lawyer. That way, all women...
It is.
Exactly. That way, all women also have the opportunity to become seen as mothers. So, for example, if you couldn't birth a child, because you were considered valuable as a mother of something, you understand? You therefore are not disgraced in the society. So either by work or by the fact that in that Idigi you come from, there are children there. You are also a nurturer, a mother of those people.
So you can be Beji, you can be John, but you're also Iyaloja.
It wasn't perfect. But like every human, I remember everything is a process and an institution that evolves with time. Had we not been interrupted, I don't know how we would have evolved. So a lot of things we take now and we beleaguer ourselves, and it is a beleaguering. Because when I hear this, it just sounds to me like pain. that it shouldn't be so much pain now, you know,
So
and
would
this
you
is for
say-
both men and for women. The way we do it is almost like a trap for both the women and the men. Even when I hear the things like, oh, he doesn't want the way he married you. You unko in your Let
Let me take this call from Kelechi. I'll come to you, man. Good morning, Kelechi. Are you there?
Mariah, so good morning. I
Yeah.
don't want my credit.
Oh, sorry, no vex. Go ahead, please.
Oh, sorry.
It's all right. Mariah, I commend you for this very topic. This topic is quite hot. I commend you for that. You see, I want to say something to Odagilo. Odagilo, to be honest with you, I am in love with your point of view. You have a very radical and sharp point of view.
Thank you.
You see, let me tell you something. Don't take my life, but I'll go ahead and talk. Let me say something. You see, Christian preachings are strategic to, restricting them within the circumference of their denominational faith. They are not allowed to go outside that circumference to acquire knowledge. Any day you do that, you lose familiarity with your pastor. You see, I understand the problem you're having with your husband because you are evolving. I would suggest that you try as much as possible to carry him along in your evolution. Otherwise, you may have problems. But the problem I think here is that you are the one evolving, not the man evolving. If he was the one evolving, he may carry you along. But as you are the woman evolving, he may not like to be carried along. So
bringing it on the surface. I mean, I like to go deeper. I know you want to go deeper. But I've not heard your views on this.
No.
Please, let me hear your thoughts before I
I'm
go
listening.
further.
I'm listening. When I have something to say, I will talk. Continue.
Okay, so back to, on the surface talk now. The fact that for example, let me use myself as an example. As I'm trying really hard to retain my identity of who I am or who I've come to be in marriage, it's important for me who I've come to be. I choose to maintain that. However, subconsciously, there's that inner part of me that I always crave to do other things that I used to love, even before I came into this new identity as this person. So my question is going deeper now, that is it wrong for me to crave that who I used to be?
Why did you marry somebody without letting them see your full self the way you were?
You see my full self.
So that's what I'm saying.
We see our full self, but
some of the things
in the beginning.
I may have not been aware.
Because
Yes.
part of the time, at what point are we encouraging people to get married when they haven't found themselves?
Good. That's why we always.
You understand?
You don't know the time frame to find yourself.
That's why a marriage must not be a place where you cannot find you. In your home, for example, think about your family. Your family is there for every iteration of you.
Yes.
iPhone 4, the iPhone 13. Me that like iPhone, I'm with iPhone at iPhone 4 and iPhone 13. When it become iPhone 20,
You'll be there.
I will still be with it. Because at the core, I like what it is. If you are going into a marriage with a person who is not happy with he himself is also evolving.
We're all evolving. So yes, but that's life.
So we're always making allowance for others. We don't expect them to make allowance for us too.
No, the point is that is life. Life is such that we are constantly changing.
I don't want to miss what you just mentioned now. That why do you now marry into a family that will not let you be?
Exactly.
So a lot of young people do not know how to pick. One, the societal pressures do not let them blossom enough to pick. Two, so you see your age is ticking, everything is going up, there's pressures, mother is talking, you're 30, you're 35, please find a man. And then you get into a marriage where you know that this man ordinarily will not even support your dreams. Do you advise that person to proceed? So my own personal case is, I got married to somebody who, in my head at the time, in my early 20s, I knew he loved me for me, however I turn out. I could see it in his eyes that he was ready to follow me through the journey. Even when I would go for beauty pageant, he will carry my bag, he will sit with me. We're not even married then. He was just ready to go through. So I wasn't scared that at any point in my evolution, he would say, I'm no longer doing. Because though he doesn't understand it, but as long as it makes you happy.
Yeah.
But a lot of people I see marry into homes that you can't change from here to here. It becomes a problem. How do you help? I want you to help women now who are in that crossroad of, how do I now marry somebody who would let me be? Because I didn't know I was going to evolve at this point.
Yeah.
At that time, I came from a different, so my progression has been, if you talk to my husband, I will say, this one, sometimes I don't even know who she is. She has gone from here to here to ask me exactly. She will change. But he's willing to go
stick
through
by you,
because
regardless.
the core of who he wants is still me.
Yeah.
Help women today, please, on how they can,
okay, let me come to
how they can, get it right.
The problem is this. It is what the society puts on women all the time. If you're not a woman if you don't have a husband. That's number one.
Yeah.
And I don't agree with that. If you find a husband that you love or loves you and you can grow together, fine. But it is not the be-all and end-all of your life. And I think once we know that, me, I'm okay.
Yeah.
But there's a
point.
Relationship.
Yeah.
If we don't marry, I will not remove anything from my body. As far as I'm concerned, we are even married spiritually. When people ask me, I'm married spiritually. I don't have to be married in the registry. Somebody will come and sign on my head.
I'll let you answer BC's question in a second. But it's part of the where do you put compromises? Because when you're getting married, especially, they say, once after 5 things, once you see 2 or 3, the other ones you can manage. They'll tell you that don't worry, eventually, and you grow in marriage. And yes, indeed, you actually do grow in marriage. But somewhere at some point, something happens. And that's where we're trying to see where we can help women who go through this. Mariam, let me let you jump before I let for me respond.
Okay, I was just going to say also in society, the way that everyone is talking here right now, there are people who are listening and thinking these are rebels. There is a code of conduct that is given to a man or a woman. These are the things you should want. If you want anything outside of that, if you do not want marriage, how dare you? Something is wrong with you. If you want to evolve at all outside the code of conduct that has been placed there, something is wrong with you. And you find that many of us want to live within that code of conduct because we want to be told we are good people. We are responsible. We are the sort of person that should be the face and the role model of certain things. The people that do not live within this code of conduct, they are called rebels. They are ostracized. They are called different sorts of names. So you find a Nigerian now living in this society and you're saying to her, you can be this. She's not necessarily going to quickly want to be that. She'll constantly find ways against her nature to work within that code of conduct.
That's a lot.
All I'm going to say is, I'm interested in the core of things, why things are the way that they are. I mean, I look at YK, for example. I think, she's calm. There's a calmness about her that comes from lack of fear. I think one of the things to be really careful about is fear. And a lot of people here talk about God, but they don't believe in God. Do you understand? God is abundance. God is the fact that it never runs out. As you are breathing now, are you worried about your next breath? You're not worried about it.
Nope.
Because that is the idea of God. It's always there. You cannot run out of men. You cannot run out of options. There are infinite possibilities in the universe. One of the things they teach people very early is to be afraid. And to cement that fear, sometimes they will deliberately try and cut you down. But you see, once again, there are infinite possibilities in the universe. There are many, 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 many men. There are many, 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 many women. And even when we talk about this, sometimes when we are saying we're trying to help women, we also help to trap women further. We talk about these things as if men don't have similar issues. I've also read of men who say, I'm evolving, she's not evolving with me. I'm tired. Absolutely. So let us treat each other as human beings first and foremost. Right. And the only thing I can say is, one, try and resist fear. And also know that if you truly believe in God and you have faith, you know that it's going to be fine for you. But me, I actually really wanted to talk about what I'm doing. And
I'll let you do that after the break.
After the break, all right.
We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Nivea Natural Fairness is now Nivea Perfect and Radiant. Reveal your skin's natural radiance with Nivea Perfect and Radiant, enriched with berry extracts and UV filters. To reduce dark spots and even out your skin tone. For radiant and even-toned skin, say hello again to Nivea Perfect and Radiant Body Lotion. Try the full Nivea Perfect and Radiant range to unlock your most radiant self.
They act like Leila's mom.
What if she's bringing supreme ice cream?
Hey girls, I got ice cream. She's coming. Hey girls, I got ice cream.
Supreme ice cream now comes in a new exciting look with new label design, logo, and now comes in a white tub with all the joy in every scoop. Supreme, rich and creamy ice cream.
It was a bright sunny day in Agbala community. The community popular Jingo has just heard a rumor, and he has come to spread it to everyone.
You won't believe what I just heard,
he said.
That incident last month was not a robbery. It was carefully planned by the neighboring community.
It didn't take a lot for the people of Agbala to believe that the people of the neighboring community masterminded the attack, and off they went to war. However, only one person thought to call a friend in the community to check the information. By the time they realized the truth, nobody really remembered who brought the rumor. Fact check to be sure of the source of the information and its authenticity before spreading it or taking action. Fake news is dangerous.
This message is brought to you from the Centre for Democracy and Development, CDD, with support from the UK government.
She is strong. She is active, a thoroughbred professional, and a top performer. She starts her day with a good meal and supports her systems with Didion's syrup of hemoglobin vitamin B12. Take 2 to 3 spoonfuls of Didion's daily, straight or mixed with your favorite beverage.
To be healthy, strong and active, I say. Take Didion's.
Didion's syrup of hemoglobin vitamin B12. The power to unleash.
Are you aware that your perfect family may be under threat by germs? Germs can cause infectious disease. These infectious diseases are amongst the biggest killers of adults and children. Illness-causing germs are everywhere. In unclean bathing water, on your clothes, dirty surfaces, on cuts and wounds. To protect your family from germs, use the power of Dettol's 1 capful. In your bathing water, for your laundry, for surface cleaning, for first aid, and to protect your family from up to 100 illness-causing germs. Be Dettol Sure.
Showing up in style inspires great confidence. IVM G5T appeals to class.
Time is of the essence. With IVM Kappa, business and meetings are always on the go.
Fun time with the family. Thank you to IVM Kingdom. IVM Kara is always stealing the show. Isn't she beautiful? Influence defines a great leader. IVM Seriki is Africa's commute king. Strong, reliable, and durable. With the concept of regionalization, Innocent Vehicle is committed to satisfying its customers with producing their everyday dream cars.
IVM, pride of African roots.
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw earthen material slabbed, stroked, and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move way in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known. For when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
By the riverside, love blossoms. And betrayal sails on. Two friends.
He tastes like a brother, and I promise you that nothing and no one can hurt him as long as I live.
Witness the story of three hearts entangled in a dangerous triangle.
You've heard from Lena Maria? I haven't talked to her since I dropped her off at her house yesterday.
Christian will be my best man.
I never trusted that guy.
For lies.
Hello.
I'm coming home soon.
Christian, what do we do?
Somebody is bound to get hurt, and it's going to be terrible.
Sinew, River of Passions.
Thanks for staying with us. You see, this conversation is so important and deep. And I think we've not even started scratching the surface somewhat. And the reason why I say that is that there are lots of people that have been forced to get married. Maybe because society says you should get married, just like YK has said. But as they grow into this thing, they become somebody else. Because many women, whether we like to believe it or not, are cheating. That's the truth. Many men have been cheating years. We know that one. But more married women today, I don't have the data, but based on the messages I get on my Instagram, based on the message I get on my Facebook, telling me, Mariah, I'm in this fix, I don't know what to do. It's not because they don't want their family, they don't want their children, they don't want to stay in marriage. It's that they are not content. There's something missing within that core.
The feel is missing.
So they've become this new person. And they are going outside to get satisfied in different things, either friendship, companionship, the other room matters, different things that this person whom society had made them to marry or they marry because of society. So they've grown. They're no more kids to say, sit down there, listen, you're the submissive wife, stay there. I'm coming back home, At 20s, you accept it. Early 30s, you're with my husband, we accept it. Once you hit 40, 45, you become a whole new woman. You don't tell me to sit down. I have meetings to go to. I'm traveling to Japan. I have an appointment tonight. You become this new person. So our mothers stayed back and said, you know what, they managed, they still stayed. But we are different women people today. And
I would like to speak on behalf of my own mother, my grandmothers, and my great-grandmothers. They were never like any of these women we talk about. From beginning, they were always their full human beings. And they went to work as 20-year-olds, they went to work as 30-year-olds, they went to work until 70s or whatever. We must be very, very careful what we say about, who we are.
Generalizing, yeah.
Who we are. And whatever you say is what will be. You will repeat it over and over and over again. And I'm now 50. And most of my public life, whenever I am interviewed, marriage always comes up. I think it's a tragic shame. Because my mind has so much more to offer than the issues of marriage. My contemporary men, most of whom have ended up in very powerful positions, not because they're smarter than me. Nobody asks them this kind of questions. Nobody dissipates their energies in that way. It is a dissipation of female creative energy, and we must maybe start to resist it a little more strongly. And not make it the point of our daughters' lives, or indeed our sons' lives, because this is just a subset of life. It is a good subset, where there's no good or bad. It is a subset, so what's the core things that are important? We must always, I really do like to focus on them. And I think even for marriage, the concept of marriage will change with Nigeria becoming a lot more progressive and successful economically.
Yeah, true.
You will be more empowered.
You will see, then people will ask themselves exactly what they are doing.
Why are they doing
this marriage?
Not that it's bad. Then they will not, because if I had a son, I would like for my son to be able to be with a woman who wants to be with him. not because she has to be with him. And I certainly don't pray for my daughter to be with the person because she has to be with them, but because she wants to be with them.
For me, that is the real, I want to be with someone because I want to be, not because society has said, oh, you must
be with this person.
So, and that's the mistake that we are making. It's the same in our politics. In our politics, everyone is shouting, Christian, Christian, Muslim, Muslim. Why not? Who is the person that can do this job? That is what I want. Not what is my religion? Where am I from? Who can do this job? And we have just, I don't know, maybe it is what is happening in Nigeria that has made us turn, our heads turn into...
Let's have a few comments on social media,
yes,
then we'll come up.
What I don't understand.
Osakwe says, this topic has brought out what happened in my marriage, and my husband never carried me along. At the end, we broke up and separated, and it led to his death last year. Corey says, he said, I don't like this. So Simon Rose says, the chokehold placed on a woman is something one can't understand, sometimes except you are in that gender. She's saying there is more to you than what society has told you you are. Adebola says, let everyone stay on their own. Marriage is not by force. Women should stop bothering themselves on this subject matter.
And Charlie, can I take this from Charlie? Charlie says, great topic, ladies. I am a man. I'm afraid of going home to my wife because her mood fluctuates and it's scary for me. Please advise.
Somebody says, Helen Asian says, we all must understand that you don't have to agree with everything your spouse stands for or believes in. Even twins don't. Sometimes it's actually exciting to have different perspectives so long as you agree on the fundamentals like religion. Decide before marriage what your fundamentals are. Don't pretend to each other. So if your wife never used to enjoy wearing pants in the early days of the marriage and now begins to wear pants, that's on trousers. Surely that shouldn't be, you have to define it. So wearing trousers. So
that, what you just read, talked about fundamentals and make sure that the fundamentals don't change. And for a lot of people, that religion is the core of them. That I believe in God or I do not believe in God, that's the core of them. And for many people, they will not be able to move from that. But I have this tweet from Rem Power Farms. He says, it's selfish to think you can just leave a relationship or marriage simply because you want to evolve. Communication is imperative, and for the partner on the receiving end, you must also be patient.
All right, so we're going to be talking about what... Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, I just wanted to add that, over the years, we've had marriages where it's been designed in such a way that as a woman, your identity is attached to that of a man. You really do not have an identity. So I was glad to hear the Yoruba version of things, but, where I was coming from, it's more like it's the man that is. So you are Mrs. So and so. You are the wife of this person. So you are known for the husband that you have married, not for your achievements. That's another kind of culture. And so over the years, too, women have suspended themselves. So the identity of the home is the man, and you no longer find yourself. Now, the problem we're having is that some women are beginning to say, I'm an individual person, aside from my husband. Is there any way I can be my full self, and you are your full self, and we come together? And the fight now is, how are you your own self when we're supposed to be one? I think that is where the conversation is heading to. Now, how do we get men to understand that your wife can still have her own personality, not swallowed by your personality, and still be your wife?
Okay, so we need to wrap up on this. I'd like to, I'd like to hear your final thoughts on this and then what you're working on so that we can wrap up with you for me.
I mean, I really think that a lot of what we concern ourselves at are lapa symptoms. There's a saying in Yoruba, that means you leave the leprosy, the core of the disease, and you are worried about the rashes. The rashes is the symptoms of the core disease. So I think that things like fixation on marriage and all of that is really because, there are other bigger issues that are not addressed that need to be addressed. And that until we address those things, we won't be able to express our own individual selves as well as we want to. And as long as we live in a community of people, we really do need to have some sort of standards by which we live. So even some of the things we are talking about, like the countries, the cultures where we have married, the kind of marriage we are talking about, we are talking about a type of marriage. Yeah. Remember, there are different sorts of marriage. The societies where we have taken them from, it's not perfect there too. but they have these checks and balances, you know, and institutions that can intervene where people choose to be really deviant. Do you know what I mean? All of us can be deviant, but some people can do some really deviant thing that can be damaging. So those institutions will come in. So some of the things we are talking about, when it comes to abuse of a person, when it comes to abuse of opportunity, even some of the things we're worried about now, some of their own people, because they are from their culture, have fought a different war. So you want to just say you want to cheat and leave your wife. Oh, yeah, we'll be leaving now. They will take the money straight from your coins, from your pocket straight. So the children will get, you know, it's not perfect. Even that has problems. But what I'm saying is that we really should be more concerned about ourselves, one, as a society, and also the individual matters. And it's important to be who we are at every given point and to communicate.
Fantastic.
Really.
So before I ask you what you're working on, so let's switch it a bit. So how are you planning for 2023 elections?
2023, I'm trying to enjoy watching it all.
Oh, you're going to be in Nigeria. You're not going to jackpot.
I will be in Nigeria.
So you're going to vote.
That term irritates me. What does jackpot mean?
It means that you live somewhere else. You leave your country.
It means that you run away. Why? I've never run away from anything in my life. And we should stop looking at it that way. It shows that we are afraid. It also shows that we think others are better than us. Citizens of every country can live and go and come as they like. We should be happy that sometimes some of our people go and they come, and some might not come. Also, look at other civilizations that have done some really interesting things. The more you have your people everywhere, what we want to do is upskill our people locally, because a lot of people know what they are doing locally. You know, we don't value what we are doing. Is upskill locally, upskill internationally. Just upskill any way we can upskill. And eventually, somewhere along the line, things will come together. I actually don't have too much of a problem with some of the chaos we are dealing with. Because when people talk about Nigeria, they say it used to be good in the past. On whose terms? The Nigeria we knew, Nigeria was created. And this is not to say it was good or bad. I'm not interested in good or bad. You know, because you don't choose your parents either. So sitting down today and saying, my mother was bad, my father was bad, you are wasting your time. You are here. So the nation is here for now, unless we choose we don't want it. The fact of the matter is that the nation that is here for now was created to benefit certain people. Wow. And all the institutions and all of that was created to work for that period. As those people left, the more they left, the more those particular institutions crumbled. So we are now in a very interesting place. It is a time of entropy, where everything will be jaga-jaga before it settles. See this jaga-jaga that is happening, it is on our own terms. What you take out of the jaga-jaga would then be on your own terms. So some of the countries in Africa that seems like, at least we are ahead of them, in that we have entered chaos already. From chaos will not come. Except their chaos is coming, just be looking. So we have entered the chaos. Inside Naim with this so. You understand? And so for me, it's fascinating to watch and to participate. I think our problem, no, you cannot hurry up.
Let me pause you for a second.
Outside of ourselves. What we do matter.
Let me pause you, because I think there's an interesting perspective. Ade from London has been holding for a while. Ade, are you there?
Yeah, good morning.
You're live. Go ahead. Sorry for holding you.
It's all right. I'm calling for two reasons. Number one, I want to appeal to my sister, BC. Please, talk to Oga, pillow talk. Convince him about your meditation so that he can understand where you are coming from.
I'm doing that.
Because
Thank you.
the man needs to be convinced.
Yes.
So that he can go along with you.
Thank
so
you.
there won't be any fighting outside, praying in tongues, and he will like that. God forbid. Now, to your guest, science is different from faith. So don't say they are the same. Don't convince people. Science people, they don't believe. Most of them don't believe in God. They want to see. Faith, we believe in God. Without seeing God, we believe in miracles. So don't say science and faith is the same thing. It's not the same thing. Please don't convince people. The all over the world is watching. That's your own belief. It's not my belief. God bless.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Ade.
I really like that. You know what I enjoyed about that? Is the supposition that you can talk to me and tell me what I must do. I really enjoyed that from Ade.
All right. So we're going back to the society that we live in, the fact that the chaos, that eventually it will settle. But I get scared when I walk the streets of social media, when I walk the streets of the newspapers. Constantly, every single day I read the papers and I'm thinking, can this ever settle?
Well, you're using the term I spoke about, you're using fear. We're not going to get anywhere with fear. Do you understand? The chaos, and you know,
People were killed in church in our war.
When you also talked about chaos, you talked about it as if it's external. Our life, you see, as we are sitting down calm on this office, so much is going on. There's a lot of chaos going on. I went and saw somebody who gave birth, one of my staff gave birth to a baby boy recently, and you know, she was complaining about him sleeping, and I'm like, look at miracle in front of you. You see this boy, as you are seeing like this, is creating cells. Can you imagine, as he's sleeping, he's creating cells. This is amazing. It changed our perspective. I was like, please sleep. Because that sleep is what's causing all of that.
So the day that you will not sleep, you will know.
Exactly, because if you don't sleep, then how do you create the cells? That boy is growing, a human is growing as a human being. So for us, that chaos we are going through now, the problem we have is we are resisting it. Yeah. We have to enter it. Okay. We have to enter it because at the end of the day, who's going to solve it?
Us.
Who is going to solve it? Yeah. And that solving is not automatic and immediate. It's an ongoing process. When I was driving now from VI, you know, I saw the same traffic I used to see because I've always tried to go against traffic. When I used to be in 2000 and the early 2000s, that is the same traffic on the same bridge. And I'm like, because we haven't looked at it and thought, instead of doing yepa about it and thought, actually, what will solve this problem? We haven't made up our minds yet to become who we say we desire to be. When we do, all of us will know. That's why I said 2003. Me,
what you're going to observe.
I sit down look. And it's not sit down look of not participating. Yeah, but it's also, you know, sometimes when you know, people talk about, you know, religion all the time. One of the things I like in there is like that phrase that says you must be still. No. You must be still. Because if you are not still, you will see, but you will not know. You will not even see. You will get involved with everything just doing you like this.
We need to bring you for these philosophical conversations. I'm really enjoying it. But what are you working on now so that we know we can look out for?
I mean, it's the core as usual. So, for example, I'm like you. I'm looking at social media. I really like the real streets. I like to go out and see what's happening because I understand the science behind, you know, social media. And I know how it can not only disrupt what we see, but also encourage the same thing to continue to be more magnified. So I also like to see what's the alternative to that. And you know, all of those things we talk about, I want to look at those issues that you're reading in the papers and look, why is it like that? And what is the history of it? So we understand it. The news is important and is great, but you know, the news is to tell you what has happened now. But the question is, why has it happened? What caused it? So that's what I am working on, the public eye. You know, and of course, it's something that is evolved and is time-taking. So you cannot do too much of it. You know, because we tell a story today. It was a story of the poor girl who was murdered on a BRT bus by Michelle. We've moved on. Yeah. But what happened to Bamiche's family?
That's my problem.
Exactly. What happened to Bamiche's family? What's happening with the investigation? What's happened? So that's the kind of thing that we're doing with Public Eye. You know, and it was interesting. It was really lovely to have an organization who would work with us on it, and that's Makato Foundation in Nigeria. What I love about the guys at Makato Foundation, that's Dr. Kole Shetima and Dr. Amina Mohammed, a lovely woman, you know. I remember she talking about feminism and her husband's role in it too. So we have to really be careful what we take on. Yeah. You know, but these people and their whole office, you know, kind of came together with me and said, you know, Fume, what would you like to do? What can we do together? And we developed this idea, and that's what we work on, because we have to leave stamps in the sands of time. Yeah. Some of the things we are talking about now, it might not penetrate because people are too distracted. But there will come a time when some individuals will be still. Life brings us to times of stillness, where you then go and say, what did they say about that? And then you might be receptive to hear it. So that's what we are creating with Public Eye. And leaving them not just for now, but for time to come.
Let me take this call.
You talked about that. Okay, take your
call. Stanley's been calling from the UK. Stanley Mohammed. Good morning, Stanley. Are you there?
Yeah, good morning. Can
You're
you
live.
hear me very well?
Go ahead, please. Yes, we can.
Okay. Thank you very much. Sorry to bring you a little bit backward. I want to talk about the kind of marriage, what the discussion going on here. One of these issues, one of these problems, is the cause of these things is we are the cause. In Africa, let's use Nigeria now, for example. We are the cause of all these things. We don't want to be exactly who we are. I'm calling you from London. I live here. I've been living here for more than 20 years. The women here in London, I don't want to talk about the West. The women here in London, they want to be like you girls there. They want to be like Nigerian women. They want to enjoy the kind of traditional marriage we have. We have tradition, but now we don't want to maintain our tradition. We want to live what we are not. We want to live like the white people. This is the cause of all this. I'm Igbo man. We normally say, I'm talking to my two sisters there, they will hear me say, woman woody. The woman's pride comes from the man. And when the man is married, he refers to himself as, I'm a responsible man, I'm married. You know? So these are our traditions. This is the way we are being made. But we don't want to maintain it. Look at the way you just addressed there. By looking at you, my sister here, white. I'm a white woman. They are looking at you, they see that you are African, you are Nigerian. Straight away, they want to be like you. But you are not changing. You want to be like them.
All right, thank you very much, Stanley. So we have to wrap on this, but I'm happy that...
I was just saying something. I like where what you say you're doing, because that's my problem in Nigeria. The things happen, we talk about it now, and then we forget that the life goes on for those people. What is happening to them? Like the train victims. Nobody talks about the train victims, you know? Or it comes out in the papers.
That's it.
We move on.
So
killings.
We have to move on, but thank you so much, and we wish you the best in what you're working on. We hope to see it more on TV. I said you can't really churn it out too often, but as much as they come out, it's something that we must pay attention to.
Yeah, and I can't do TV all the time because there's all of you doing what you do.
Yes.
And you must know when you should shift.
Yes.
When you evolve.
Yes. When
so
you
people
evolve.
always say to me, I'm like, I absolutely don't want to do that anymore. Also, there are great people doing it.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
I really admire what you ladies do.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being here.
Great admirer.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks. Go on a break. When we come back, we'll speak to Rural Properties. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Being a TV host, I can tell you that being a parent is one of the biggest reality shows you will ever produce. Hi. Oh, yeah. As cute as they can be, even you need to take a break to take care of some of the other realities of life. And that's why the TVC Staff Crash was put together to help parents just like me get those professional childcare services that they need. Come on, let's go. Let's go. The TVC Staff Crash Baby Lounge team of professionals are here to help take a load off your mind. The TVC Staff Crash is a nursing mom support system, a toddler's safe haven, and a young learner's academy throughout the year. It's comfortable, convenient, and with competitive pricing for the modern parent. So, while they learn through play, you can go about getting your pay. The TVC Staff Crash, open to the public from 7 a.m. till 6 p.m.
Thanks for staying with us. Welcome to our sponsored segment. Join us to tell us the new thing happening in rural properties and what they have in store. His relationship manager is Roland Properties and Allied Services, Halima Oladipo. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Good morning. Good morning.
So, what's going on with Roland?
Okay, for viewers that are just seeing me here for the first time, my name is Halima Oladipo from Roland Properties and Allied Services Limited. And Roland's ultimate goal is to be a leading world-class team and a point of reference for quality, excellence, and affordable real estate services within Africa and even beyond. And so far, we've been able to establish over 30 estates in the space of 3 years within Lagos, Ibadan, Ogun State, and Oyo State, respectively. And we also have offices in each of these locations where people can walk in anytime, any day, to book for their site inspection, for business transactions, to make inquiries. These offices are available. And we just recently launched our Abuja office. The last time I was here, I mentioned we were going to be launching, and we've launched our Abuja office at Area 11, Garuki, Abuja. So if you're in Abuja, you want to purchase from us, from our estate, Hills and Fountain Estate at Lugbe, at Lugbe, Abuja. So we have an office now, a physical presence in Abuja at Area 11, Garuki. You can visit our office for further inquiries, to book for your inspection, for all your business transactions.
So let me ask, what papers are available for these new properties that you've just mentioned?
Okay, we have the R of O. That's the valid documents for landed properties in Abuja. That's the right of occupancy. We have the deed of assignment, and also definitely your receipts of payment. And we have all other new estates that we also have. We have an estate also at Ibejuleki that we just launched. That's the Preston Seaside Estate at Ibejuleki. And it's going for 1 million naira per plot. And then if you're paying outrightly, you pay 700,000 naira per plot for this property. It's located at Odeomi in Ibejuleki. It's a seaside estate. If you're thinking of a vacation home, that's the perfect spot for a vacation home. Yes, it's near water. Very, very beautiful view of the sea from the estate.
So these new properties, like the other ones, can they come and see them before payment?
Definitely. At Roland Properties, we always encourage people that before you drop a dime with Roland Properties, come and see these properties for yourself. So when you see them and you are comfortable, you like what you see, then you can go ahead and pick a payment plan that suits you. And even now, we've commenced our Ileya promo.
Wow.
And then Ileya is in the air. As I was coming, I was seeing rams all over the place.
And when is Ileya?
Ileya should be around July 9, 10 or thereabout. And a lot of people go home during these festivities. Imagine if our parents didn't make that provision for us to have a home to come to. How we will be able to gather together as a family for such festivities, be it Ileya, be it Christmas, be it Easter, whatever it is. You have the opportunity. So my question to you listening to me that you've not started something is, what provisions are you making for your own family? Do you want your children to grow old and say, oh, mommy and daddy did not make any provision for us to come home for Ileya? They didn't make any provisions for us to come for Christmas, for anything. So let Roland help you and be your guide to being a landlord. With as low as 700,000, 500,000, 400,000 naira, you can buy a plot of land with Roland Properties, and you can start building. And when you even drop your first installment, if you can't pay outrightly, you're already on your way to being a landlord.
How secure are these properties?
They are very secure. These estates are fenced, they are gated, and they are all dry and table lands. We don't sell waterlogged lands to anybody. That's why we encourage site inspection, that you come and see. And for people buying this period, in fact, allocation date is fixed already. So once you purchase, you are being told your allocation date. So for instance, you are buying Preston Seaside Estates, Ibejuleki now, allocation is fixed already for July 14th. So all you need to do is when you are buying, you know that the allocation date is fixed. So for people buying now, even if you are buying tomorrow, buying next tomorrow, allocation dates are already fixed for this estate. So you buy your land, you get your land immediately.
So some people will say, why Roland? There are so many others doing what you're doing. Why should I go with Roland?
Because when you buy from Roland, you are buying peace of mind. And not on the account of Roland Properties will you ever lose your money. You will never lose a dime with Roland Properties.
A property, I don't know, I brought a property from a company, and I paid a certain amount of money. And they asked me to pay a development fee of the exact same amount of money. I was so angry. I mean, I'm waiting for the day I'm just going to just bust out on TV. But I had saved a lot of money to buy that property, you know. So what are the gray areas that people don't see? Like developmental fee. I didn't even see. I didn't even see developmental fees. And how much is developmental fee?
Okay, for some companies, they always call it, or to clients, it appears as hidden charges. But for rollout properties, we don't have such charges. When you come to us, we let you know. We are always transparent because rollout properties is keen on integrity. Integrity is one of our watchwords, one of our core values. So integrity is very, very important to us at Rollout. We come out to you, we let you know everything that it entails. You know everything you have to pay. So there's nothing hidden. There's no hidden anything anywhere. You are seeing it plain blank. Then if you want to go ahead with it, then you're free to go ahead with it.
So how easy is it to resell? So some people may want to buy properties, but at the end of the day, they don't want to develop. Would you be participating in helping them resell?
Definitely we'll be participating because we have to do change of ownership, and then we have to be sure that someone else is not just taking possession of your landed property without your knowledge. So we are involved in all the processes all through. Once you allocated your landed property, whatever you want to do with your land, I mean, it's your land, so you can do anything you want to do. So if you wake up tomorrow and say, well, I want to sell my land, it's yours.
That's fine. I know you mentioned it earlier, but someone is listening and thinking, how can I quickly reach out to you, apart from your physical offices?
Okay, we have our website. We have our website, www.rolloutproperties.com. You can always reach out to us via the website. You can send emails, info@rolloutproperties.com. You can check our social media platforms at Rollout Properties Ltd. And you can also call any of our phone lines, 5784. You can call any of the phone numbers showing on the screen, and I'm sure that with that you can reach us, or you can visit any of our offices at Bagada. We have on the island at Admiralty Way, off Admiralty Way, that's Lekki Phase 1. We have at Ibadan, we have in Abuja, and we have at Salolo, that's towards Ogun State. So you can visit any of our offices. You can visit our website, www.rolloutproperties.com. Visit us on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook, at Rollout Properties Ltd, and we'll be here to respond to your inquiries and help your journey to being a landlord as smooth as possible.
Thank you very much, madam.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure having you. That's all we can take on the show today. See you tomorrow. Bye.